What's good, everybody? If you tune into this video, it's probably because you have a lot of questions about the housing market in Myrtle Beach. So this video is designed to answer those questions. I'm going to go over 5 key questions that I know you guys probably have. Each question is going to lead up to the most important question at the end, that if you're a home buyer, a seller, or an investor, you're definitely going to want to hear. So make sure you stay to the end. Before I get to that though, first of all, welcome to my channel, Myrtle Beach Living, where I go into detail about everything there is to know about Myrtle Beach. If that's something that's going to bring you value, please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so that you're notified when I upload new content. I'll be uploading twice a week, and I'm going to do one of these once a month to keep you guys updated and informed. My name is Jordan Brown. I'm a local realtor with Keller Williams Innovation South. And if any of you or someone you know is looking to sell, buy, or invest in property in Myrtle Beach, don't hesitate to contact me. I'd love to hear from you. All my contact information will be in the description of this video, as well as my channel description. And I'll probably put my phone on screen just to make things easier. So let's get to it. Before I get to the first question, I have a little disclaimer. So I've been seeing a lot of clickbait and scare tactics about, a market crash or a market crisis and stuff like that, or we're on the verge of a collapse. And I'm here to tell you that the statistics just don't really reflect that happening. It's always a possibility, but I wouldn't be holding your breath if you're expecting there to be some kind of crisis. I don't think that's going to happen. And the data isn't really expecting that to happen either. So take a deep breath, relax, because, the world's not ending. The first question that I'm going to address is, how does the housing market work? Before you even hear about all the data and stats, you got to have a little bit of a background about how it works. Basically, the housing market is dictated by the buyer, which is mainly supply and demand. When supply is up, demand is going to go down, and when supply is down, demand is going to go up. And your whole housing price and value is dictated by that supply and demand. Not solely, but that's just the main thing. If there's a surplus of houses on the market, then the prices are going to go down because you can just get them anywhere. If there's a scarcity of homes, then that's going to mean that prices are going to go up because people are trying to get a good deal on a house. They're trying to get their best deal, and there's going to be more bidding wars, more unsold properties and stuff like that. So in markets where there's a low amount of inventory, like what we have as a whole right now, a lower inventory, then those prices are going to go up, and that's probably why you've been seeing values rise. And this tug of war between supply and demand is a eternal battle that goes on forever until there's a price equilibrium. And honestly, that's something that will never happen, but it's just how the housing market works, where supply goes up, demand goes down, demand goes up, supply goes down. Did I say that right? You get the gist. But I like to think of it as a cyclical system. That's at least what we call it, which basically means, and I like to use this analogy, the water cycle. We learned about the water cycle in like 4th grade. Science was always one of my favorite subjects, or actually is my favorite subject. So I'll probably use a lot of scientific analogies, but you can look at it like this. When water evaporates, it goes into the atmosphere and it sits there and accumulates until enough rain has accumulated for precipitation, and then it comes down. And that's a lot like how the market works, where those prices go up, that demand goes up, that supply goes up, and then the opposite thing happens. And it's just a cycle that just repeats itself. Now, since you have a better understanding of the basics of the market, I can start to relate that to the Myrtle Beach market itself. Which brings me to my next question. Are home prices increasing? And the short answer to that is going to be yes. Prices are definitely increasing. I mean, you didn't need me to tell you that. However, the housing market is slightly different depending on where you are, depending on the state, depending on the county. It just varies. The data that I'm going to use is going to be pulled from the Coastal Carolina Association of Realtors data page from January to April. The May stats didn't come out yet, so we're just going to focus on January through April and relate it a little bit to last year. From January to April of this year, total sales in Myrtle Beach for single family homes has gone up about 12% since last year, which is pretty good. Means there's more transactions happening, and that went up 11% for condos. And condos isn't really my area of expertise. I try to stay away from condos, but I still have connections to people that specialize in that field. I'm just not really a fan of it, but that's another video for another day. Inventory, which is just supply, is on a gradual increase at 8% for single family homes and 112% for condos. That 8% rise in inventory is a good thing because that'll help supply go up and then demand will go down and so will the prices. Median sales price has increased by 2% for single family homes, which isn't a crazy amount, but it's still enough to matter. And that sits us at about 360K for your average transaction. For condos, it went up 5% at 260K. And like I said, as that inventory, as the statistics show, as that inventory rises, then that percentage will start to plateau and prices won't rise as much, if at all. And when supply is higher, that demand is going to go down and then those prices will follow. You could probably expect that to happen toward the end of the summer, early fall, and the market will start to stabilize a little bit and there won't be as much increase of things on the negative side. It'll be more of an increase of inventory and an increase of sales probably and stuff like that. Fortunately, though, there are a lot of new homes, new construction in this area. My parents just moved here into their new home. They downsized because they're empty nesters now, but everybody's here for college, so we got a full house over here. But in their neighborhood, there's literally a new lot sold every day. It seems like every time I leave the house, I see a sold sign and stuff like that. So not only here, but all over Myrtle Beach, I've seen new construction left and right, new everything, new gas stations, new food places, And I'll give you all the rundown about all the best places to eat because I know y'all love to eat, just like I love to eat. So, but like I said, that's a different video for a different day. Let me get on track. According to national statistics, the average days a home stays on market is about 33 days. In Myrtle Beach, that's a little bit higher from what I could tell. I did a lot of research on the MLS, which is Zillow for realtors. I noticed that in different areas, like different areas had different statistics on this, obviously. So I saw as far as 30 to 90 to I saw 112 days on market. So it just varies. I'd definitely say between 30 and 90 days on average. There's some factors that influence the sale as well, like pricing, where a seller prices their home at is going to dictate how long it stays on the market. And if you don't have an agent that's going to keep it real with you and be like, look, I really don't think that this price is going to sell. And also, it depends on if the seller even cares about that. That'll just dictate how long it sits. And it also, the market itself is going to dictate how long it sits on the market as well. Because if, it's a more outdated property or there are things that it needs or things that could be added to it to give it more value, that's also going to dictate how long it sits on the market. So, just a lot of factors that go into that. But main thing you want to take away from this is that you're going to be, depending on your circumstances, you're going to be sitting on that property for 30 to 90 days. And also depending on how good your agent is. But we're not going to talk about that. So my next question that you guys are definitely wondering about is, how are mortgage rates? Now, for this data, it's a little tricky because I'm a real estate professional. I'm not qualified to give you financial advice. So if there are additional questions, which I'm sure there will be, but you should definitely go to a local lender to get this kind of information. I'm just I've just done research on different local lender websites to see the average percentages and stuff like that. So in Myrtle Beach, it seemed like for 30-year loans, the average was about 70%, and 30-year loans are like one of the most used ones. And there are a lot of variables that dictate your rates with mortgages. For instance, your credit score, duration of the loan, as well as the type of loan you get. So a VA loan is going to be different than a conventional loan, and a conventional loan is going to be different than a federal loan, a FHA loan. I believe those have like a minimum of a 3% down payment. So, it just varies. And definitely your credit is a big factor that deals into that, because it'll dictate how high your interest rate is. So, just think about those type of things. And like I said, definitely reach out to a lender when it comes to that. There are also a lot of policies and plans that can help reduce your interest rates. One that I know of is discount points, which is basically a prepaid interest type. And I like to think of it as a pizza with 8 slices. And each slice represents 1 point. You get a total of 8 points. And all 8 points represent 1% of the total loan. Doesn't sound like a lot, but when you get into big numbers, that's a good amount. And each individual point is 1/8 of the total mortgage amount. So you prepay your interest and reduce that thing down, and you're having a better interest rate. So, that's just one plan out of who knows how many. A lender would definitely know. So, like I said, more questions about that, reach out to a lender for sure. And I will try to I'll try to find some local lenders in this area, and link them in the description, just to give you guys an option if you're interested in that. Another big question that a lot of people ask or want to know is, how much is my home worth? There are a lot of different factors that come into play when trying to figure out the value of your home. As real estate agents, we can only give like a range, but someone who actually does home appraisals, which is something that you'd have to pay for when buying or selling, depending on how the contract is written up, most transactions have home appraisals in them. And the people who do those figure out your value based on, how many bedrooms, how many square feet, how much heated square feet, price per square foot. There's a long list of things, improvements that improve the value of the home. And then there are other factors that come into play, like, where your home is. You can have $1 million home sitting in a neighborhood around a bunch of $200,000 homes, and that's going to bring the value of your home down. And when agents like myself do comparable market analysis, we usually look at houses that sold recently near your home in the same neighborhood, or at least within the same area as your home, to see how much your home would actually sell for. So there's just a lot of factors that go into that. It's not something that can just be dictated like your home's worth this much. Like, there has to be a lot of things done to figure that out. But if you're in Myrtle Beach and you're just moving to another home in this area, an agent here could help you. And if you're in a different state, I would just reach out to a local agent to get a range, or do what everyone else does, go on Zillow or something. That's not a very accurate representation. I definitely wouldn't base my home's value on that evaluation, because it's not very accurate, but most people do it. So I can't tell you not to, but an agent would be way better, more accurate than that. And an appraiser would be 100 times better. Now, before I get to the most important question that I promised, if this video has provided value for you, then definitely hit that like button. and subscribe if you like real estate content and knowing what's going on in Myrtle Beach, because that's what this channel is about, Myrtle Beach living. I plan to do these market analyses probably once a month, like I said, and I'm going to be posting twice a week. So hit that bell if you want to know when my next video comes out. And if there's additional questions, please contact me. I'd love to hear from you, and my information will be in the description. So without further ado, here's that last question. Is it a good time to buy or sell? Now, that's probably the number one question that people want to know, because they want to know what their best move is. Currently in Myrtle Beach, with this low inventory and the gradual increase of inventory, it's definitely safe to say that, it's a good time to sell. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you to run to your nearest agent and sell before it's too late, because that's illegal. But I definitely think that right now is a good time to sell, based on the statistics and based on what the market's reflecting. It's not going to stay that way for very long, because we're definitely heading toward more of a buyer heavy market. I would say end of summer, early fall is when that transition is going to happen, just because the inventory has been, like I said, I've been seeing so many new developments come up left and right. So it's bound to be higher inventory, and that increase is just going to continue to grow. So not only that, but the Carolinas are one of the top coastal places to live in the country, and Myrtle Beach is gaining popularity by the day. More and more people want to move to Myrtle Beach. People are moving from New York, California, all types of places to come to Myrtle Beach. It's a more affordable coastal area. So it's just going to be a lot more buyers looking to come here in the near future, and the market will start to stabilize, and there'll be a lot less price increases, I feel, and definitely a higher inventory with a higher demand. Just keep those things in mind when you're making that decision. I'm not able to tell you when you should sell, when you shouldn't sell, or when you should buy, but I can give you my expertise based on the research and the stats that I've been seeing, and that's what I've been seeing. Like I said before, if you have any questions about real estate in Myrtle Beach, feel free to contact me. My information is in the description, and I'll put it up on screen again to make things easier for some people. And I'll try to link some sources in the description for you guys to check out, see some graphs and stuff like that. Be on the lookout for another video this week. And thank you for watching. And until next time, peace and love.